Yo, what is up guys, it is Drummer from Newbie Gaming, and I am back with a very interesting video for you guys. So, earlier today, the patch notes for patch 1.0.2 for The Division released, and so I'm going to go over a couple of things that I picked out that I thought were the most important and most relevant to the game in its state right now. There are other things that I'm not going to cover in this video, so I will be leaving a link in the description, so if you do want to check out some of the UI and graphical error bugs that have been fixed across all three platforms and across each separate platform, you can go ahead and check that out. But other than that, let's get right into the video. So you may hear a little bit of keyboard clicking and stuff because I am going to be going and scrolling through these notes because I have a pretty decent page. So let's start with the first thing. Named enemies will now drop better loot in challenge mode than in hard mode. Now this is obviously something that needed to happen as challenge mode is significantly harder than hard mode is. Due to going up against level 32 enemies and not just level 30s. It requires a 4-man squad. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that because it says you should, I'm saying because I've experienced it and you really should, especially in the earlier stages of, even if you have 100k DPS, I still would suggest going in with a squad of 4. I don't know anyone that's really tried to solo challenging yet. Then we have named NPCs will no longer respawn after being killed in the open world. This will prevent situations where players were able to kill a same named NPC over and over again. So if you guys don't know, you could go to Times Square and there's this group of enemies where if you killed the named NPC and left all the other NPCs by him, that you could let those named NPC or those regular NPCs kill you, and then that named NPC along with the rest of that group would respawn and you could farm them over and over. People were getting hundreds of Phoenix keys, tons and tons of superior items, and they were just farming this in a way more time management schedule than if you were in the normal Dark Zone. So they fixed that. So I was thinking about making a video on it, but now seeing this, I mean, there's no reason because it's going to get patched tomorrow. So next we have fixed a speedrun exploit on the rooftop comm relay mission. Now I didn't know about this, but I decided it sounded kind of interesting, so if any of you did know about that, there you go, it's going to be patched tomorrow. Then we have fixed an issue where weapons dealt no damage if the reload animation was interrupted by an agent skill. Now I personally came across this a couple of times while using my heal skill at the same time as reloading an SMG or an AR, and it did bug me a lot. I didn't know if it was server lag, if it was something on my end, or what. So next we have fixed an issue where players became stuck in an emo animation if activated via chat while auto running. So I'm assuming this has to do with PC because auto running is in PC and so is activating the emotes in the chat. So I'm assuming it's a PC thing, so I figured I'd add that in for you guys. Fixed an issue where players I already read that. Fixed a bug where experience was not being awarded for completing all side missions in the Midtown East Safe area. So I did hear of a couple people having this problem. I thought I had the problem at first, but I just did miss a side mission. But so I decided to add that in as well. Fixed an issue where some NPCs in low cover would not react to being shot by the player. So this, a lot of people thought was just dumb AI, but it turns out that, or even if it was dumb AI, they're fixing that, so there you go. Fixed issues where emotes would cause the player model to behave oddly, missing guns, players stuck in emo animation, etc. I actually came across this a couple times as well. Fixed a bug where weapon mods and weapon skins would not show up on other players in the game world. So I knew and actually heard about this, about people not being able to see the neon green skin that a lot of people were using. Personally, not the biggest, travesty in the world, but it is cool that they fixed it. Fixed an issue where DPS would not be calculated properly when purchasing a new weapon mod. So this was a huge problem. I never knew if my DPS was one thing or the other because it would go back and forth as I switched mods and armor and things like that. So it's awesome that they finally got a hold of that. Next, players can now heal other neutral players in the Dark Zone by using first aid and support station skills. So now we're switching over to the Dark Zone stuff, And this is good because a lot of people had some issues with roguing and other things like that, so we're going to see what happens. But I did think it's cool that they're allowing people to, use a little bit more teamwork in the Dark Zone, because if you are playing solo and you run into some other players who may not have the skills that you have, and you help each other kill a boss, it is nice to kind of pay it forward to them. Players are now able to fast travel to Dark Zone checkpoints, but only when coming from outside the Dark Zone. So me personally, I was talking to a friend about this earlier, and I think it's a great thing that they did this, because it was so annoying having to teleport to the nearest mission to a Dark Zone checkpoint instead of going right to that checkpoint. Like I said, I was thinking about this earlier today, so it's awesome that they did this as well. Okay, next we got players killed in the Dark Zone now drop ammo, medkits, and grenade. Now this loot is not generated, or it is generated and is not taken from the dying player's inventory, which is awesome because, as we all know, the only time it feels like you pick up grenades, besides out of a bag every once in a while, is going back to your safe house and restocking there. So it is cool that they're generating it and not taking it from the inventory. Sorry, I almost messed up on that. Players killed in the Dark Zone will now lose less Dark Zone funds and experience, rogue and non-rogue. So this is awesome because I had a rough period where I was stuck between level 32 and 33. Part of it was on me because I just wanted to go rogue and have some fun for a little bit. But also when I died, even when I'm not rogue, I took a big hit in experience and it wasn't very fun. So it's awesome that they did that. Now next we have Dark Zone funds and experience rewards for surviving rogue status has been improved, and for killing rogue agents has been improved. So that's always nice. Phoenix credits have, now this is interesting, Phoenix credits dropped have increased for level 31 and 32 enemies. Now if you didn't know, up to this point it wasn't, or didn't feel useful to go in and fight the 31 and 32 enemies when you got the same loot and the same amount of Phoenix credits. But now for level 30 it stays the 1 to 3, for level 31 it's 2 to 4, and for level 32 it's 3 to 5. So it's going to be much more rewarding to go to those DZ05s and DZ06 when traveling in the Dark Zone. So get your groups together and get ready for some Phoenix credit farming. Increased drop rate of high-end items for level 31 and 32 named NPCs in the Dark Zone, which is always nice. Increased drop rate of high-end Division tech material from level 32 named NPCs in the Dark Zone. So like I just said, this addresses the issue of it not being worth it to go to those higher Dark Zone levels. Improved Dark Zone chest item quality. Rank 30 chests will now drop superior purple items instead of specialized blue. Dark Zone fund drop rates and quantities of NPCs has been reduced. Key chests now have a chance to drop high-end gold items. That is awesome. Fixed instances where players would receive a Delta error message when entering the Dark Zone, something I had a lot of trouble with the past couple of days. Fixed a bug where sometimes player would not loot anything after returning to the game following a network disconnection. I experienced this in the very intro of the game, but not since. Fixed stage 1 rogue timers not displaying correctly when rogue players receive damage from another player. Now that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, there's a link in the description if you want to read the rest of the patch notes. And stay tuned for more Division. And I'm out.